Namaskar, Vanakkam, and pleasant afternoon to each and every one of you. I'm extremely happy and I'm thoroughly enjoying every minute of today. Today is a very, very special day. You may think that today is a special day just because CGCRI is celebrating their Platinum Jubilee in the conventional way. No, it is not that way. CGCRI is celebrating this Platinum Jubilee in a totally different manner. I would say in a very culturally characterized and arranged and structured in a very, I would say, respectful manner, because Dr. Bikramajit Basu has made it to happen in such a manner, like the way we follow in our country, Indian culture, any celebration and any special day, we should have Mata, Pita, Guru and Devam along with this. So his mother, due to some stomach disorder, she was not able to come, so he just got her replaced with the mother of his son, meaning is his wife, and his Pita is there, and all his gurus are here, and we can say, or at least I can say, a bit of God in each and every one of you is there, and you are all here and you are blessing CGCRI. Because of all your blessings only, me and Bikramajit Basu are able to stand here and we are able to talk so proudly today, and therefore big pranams to each and every one of you, starting from this layer and this layer. A tree is a tree just because of the strength of the root, and you are the roots. You wear the roots and you are the roots. You form the roots and we are trying to propagate the roots. And this is where me and Bikramajit Basu, we are trying to paint it as good picture as possible, as aesthetically good looking as possible, because you have already given the blueprint in such an impeccable manner, wonderful manner, so colorful, so thoughtful, so visionful, and therefore our job is very easy. And I won't say that Bikramajit Basu is doing it in a very easy manner. It is not like that. With changing times, with a changing scenario, with the changing technology landscapes, with the changing requirements of the society and the industry, and also from the government and also from the general public, challenges are growing. Dr. Bikramajit Basu is nicely handling all the challenges. And this place, Kolkata, is always the scientific capital of the country. We always say Mumbai is the business capital and Delhi is capital of capital. And this Kolkata is always the science capital of the country. And we are extremely proud. We from CSIR family, we are extremely proud. We have two unique institutions in this scientific capital of the country. So one is this Glass and Ceramic Research Institute. The other one is Indian Institute of Chemicals Biology. There's a general belief that Dr. Vibha Tandon, who is dynamically running this laboratory, she's trying her level best to take it to a newer height. Because it's very difficult, and it is generally understood. We, all the people, we will normally say offline, the most challenging job is to bring in a chemist and a biologist together. But we from CSIR, we have a chemical biology lab wherein we make this kind of a union to happen so automatically, so spontaneously, so feasibly, and madam is taking care of it. And now in CSIR, the work culture is also changing. I just wish to submit it to all the senior gurus, those who are decorating the stage today. Sir, today in CSIR, we make our people to understand that pleasure is more when you share it. Be it food or happiness or sweet or science or technology. And people also started realizing, and we also make it to happen in its own way by way of giving more and more opportunities to talk to each other, to work with each other, to plan by considering each other's strengths in one proposal. And we always ask them how many labs are involved in any big technology. It need not be 1,000 crore big ticket project. Even if it is a 1 crore, 5 crore, 10 crore, 50 crore project, we just ask the people how many participants are there. And how many labs are involved? And what is the responsibility that is given to each and every individual laboratory? When the time we just take everyone together with one particular name of the project, it doesn't go that it is only the PI who is responsible. Those days have gone. We make it very, very clear. We just slice the project into small work packages and work elements, and for each work package, a lab or a group or a PI is made responsible, and therefore by taking the collective responsibility, we just call them as a big project. So I should thoroughly thank each and every one of you, those who are really decorating this auditorium. I was totally thrilled, and it is really unbelievable for me that even after a period of 15 years, 200 plus retirees are happily coming back to the laboratory. Big pranams to each and every one of you. And the credit goes to this particular institute. This is the culture, and you have created it as a great character. If at all 200 plus people are really willing to come back, if you have made up your mind and if you are happily sharing your one full day in the institute in which you lived, that itself is a great testimony, I believe. Because you're so happy, you're contented, and you feel like coming back, and you feel like wanting to know that, curiously you want to know that, what are the new things that are happening? How my youngsters are doing? What are the new value additions my young minds have brought in? Do I still have a hope to give them any kind of an advice, suggestion, hand-holding, mentorship? I thoroughly enjoy the kind of an ecosystem with which these Platinum Jubilee celebrations are going, and I fully acknowledge and echo the sentiments of Bikramajit Basu. In one of his slides, he wrote, the success of an institution depends upon three things. And first thing he said, impact of idea. Basu, please take the credit. It is the impact of your idea, due to which this gallery is full of energy, and all this energy is getting converted into full of blessings to you and to this institute. Because it is so very rare to have these many people again coming back to the laboratory on a particular day. I think that itself is giving me extraordinary pleasure. Now coming to CGCRI today. CGCRI today is so strong, and we are able to talk this much because this lab has been led by number of leaders. It is not the leaders, those who are coming from within the CSIR system, sometimes from atomic energy, sometimes from defense, sometimes from academia, sometimes from space, and this time it is from the India's premier academia in the Institute of Science. And therefore, and many a times from within also, because just before Basu, it was led by Dr. Suman Kumari Mishra, who was already a person from within CSIR family. So just because of this kind of a different, I would say, discipline-based leadership, there's lot of cross-pollination of thought process, the kind of ideas, the style, the SOP in which the leadership has carried out different kinds of changes during the years. I think today we are able to talk very many successful technologies. Once upon a time, we were not able to talk in terms of TRL because we were talking about only lab-based research. Those days have gone. Now nobody is worried about what you are doing within the laboratory because it is the basic thing that you are supposed to work in the laboratory. But from your laboratory, what is it that you will be translating it to be beneficial to the society? What is the best way of the process or the product or a device or a technology by means of which Indian industries will definitely get a benefit out of it? And please don't get yourself stuck with that Indian industry. What else you can do by means of which your technology will be accepted, appreciated, and implemented in the global arena also. So this is the motto, this is the vision, this is the mission with which now CSIR is marching ahead. Why? Because it's an 83-year-old organization, CSIR. And we proudly say that we are 5 years senior to independent India. So whenever we are celebrating our seniority and when we make it as a pride, point of a pride, now the expectation from the other end will be more. And CSIR is the largest publicly funded organization, and therefore now we have to align ourselves. We have to repurpose, reorient, reconsider, replan, re-systematically work in such a manner that we are able to cater to the requirements of the country in the way it is expected from the other end. In that particular way, I would say CSIR is really coming up with a number of new ideas, new working styles and new areas. And he has already mentioned in his presentation so beautifully how he is able to touch upon the different areas. Now the present government is talking about one particular word. It is a very fashionable tagline I really admire, which is nothing but whole of government. Whole of government means whenever you are talking about any activity, don't do it on your own as an independent performer. So in this particular institute, when he talked about different technologies, I was able to really appreciate from within the efforts of Bikramajit Basu in addressing this whole of government approach. So when he talked about his contributions to space research, he said that ISRO has clearly asked for a special kind of a glass and they are working on it. Therefore, it is not CSIR who is working on that specialty glass, now CSIR and ISRO. So there is a combination. Now we know that we are working for ISRO and it is vice versa. ISRO also knows that CSIR is the organization who is working for me. In the same way, atomic energy. Atomic energy also, we are now having a two-pronged, I would say, promise that has been given to atomic energy. So there again, we also know that atomic energy will be our stakeholder, and for defense, he has beautifully already explained. Be it radome or any other strategic applications, I think we from CGCRI, we are dedicatedly doing some kind of a research, and especially radomes is very special. Here, we are touching beyond the national labs and DRDO. We wish to have a kind of a PSU also. He tried his level best to include a PSU. I think maybe in the coming times, that may become a reality. So these days, we are taking into consideration of academia, national labs, and industry. This consortia always talk together, plan together, work together, they share the credits, and finally we share the joyous moments also when we come up with the kind of a success of technologies. And CGCRI, I'm extremely happy that you have touched upon very important areas. When we talk about glass, they started with the glass bangles, they talked about this red glass, and they talked about the effect of import. But this is one more time the country has realized, and we also should realize, this is the time that we have to be totally self-reliant. Thanks to changing geopolitical alignments. Once upon a time, I used to say thanks to COVID, because COVID only taught us few lessons. COVID made us to realize that we all can work together. COVID made us to understand that we have enough immunity. COVID really increased our self-confidence. COVID gave greater visibility to this country in the global arena, because so far nobody believed that India can become a pharma manufacturing hub. Never they thought that any kind of a vaccine can come from India, but we proved it in real time that we really made the vaccines, and we never consumed all the vaccines. We shared the vaccines with everyone, and we derived the pleasure out of that kind of a sharing. That is why, for a number of reasons, and COVID only made us to understand that every time we need not physically meet, virtual meetings can happen. Virtual meetings can also have the same impact of physical meetings, and through virtual meetings also we can come up with a number of new ideas, and these are the positivities of COVID similarly. Now the geopolitical alignments are changing every now and then. Like a weather report, like the climate change, like the pollution behavior, like the air quality index. Geopolitical alignments are also changing from time to time, not from day to day or year by year, from time to time. Therefore, with this kind of uncertainty with respect to the supply chain, with respect to this kind of an uncertainty to reach to the marketplace, this is the time and this is the high time that India should realize, and we Indians, responsible citizens of the country, should realize that we have to make this country Atmanirbharta. Therefore, the word, whether it is Atmanirbharta or self-reliance or Viksit Bharat, it is not a statement. It is a need of the hour. It is a need of the hour, whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, whether we trust it or not, whether we desire it or not, it is the need of the hour. So we have to now start thinking in this direction, and we have to really plan whichever way the science and technology is to be promoted. Now first we have to see, do I have the supply chain? Unlike these critical metals and minerals, because Muralidharan ji and other previous speakers, all the mentors were also talking about the importance of very, very critical metals, maybe in the form of a rare earth, sometimes in the form of a transition metal, sometimes in the form of a light metal. So all these metals are very, very important, not only for metallurgy, but also for ceramics and also for glass. But unlike the metallurgy or the critical metals and minerals, they have the challenges. Their challenges are so huge. They have to now tap and map different kinds of metals. Though we talk about lithium is available in the country, we have already mapped. We are doing the mapping. But to what extent we are able to tap it? How are we going to extract it successfully? What is the concentration in which it is available? Can we come up with a kind of an indigenous flow sheet? Those many challenges are there for certain metals. But here, this laboratory, with silicon you can play a lot. With silicon carbide you can be the leader. With silicon nitride you can be the global leader. With aluminum carbide and aluminum nitride, again you can conquer not only the Indian market, but also the global market. And I was told that defense is extremely happy by the way these people are coming up with a kind of a fiber laser. And he talked about the fiber laser. They will start with 2, then 5, then they will go to 10 kilowatt. So the kind of targets and the milestones and the timelines that are given by Bikramajit Basu is very, very convincing, and it is very, very realistic. Special thanks to Meiti ji as well as to Muralidharan ji and also to Manna ji, because during your time you talked about a new area called energy. Because I normally, in a very fond way, I used to say 5 securities are important: food security, energy security, water security, strategic security, and health security. And this lab is fulfilling all the 5 securities, I would say. Because for energy security, again, when we were talking about open cell, closed cell, low temperature, high temperature fuel cells, they talked about solid oxide fuel cells. And now they say by 2030, they'll come up not only with SOFC, they will come up with solid oxide electrolytic cell also. Already the technology is transferred to CUMI. CUMI is so very happy. And again, special thanks to Suman Kumari Mishra. During her time, this transfer happened. And now they are bold enough to think further, that now Bikramajit Basu is telling me by 2030, 32 kilowatt level SOEC will be transferred as a technology. That was one of the points he showed in this slide. So I think you have clearly nailed with respect to the planning, very impactful ideas, and you have a good set of people to work with. I think the days are not so far off. Definitely you will come up with more and more success stories. It is not only energy security, water security, all the previous former directors, they clearly mentioned the ceramic membrane is your iconic technology. And Muralidharan ji also talked, or Ganguly ji also told me that, especially for the coastal area, now we have 1 or 2 technologies that has been already popularized in the country. One is NIOT's technology, desalination technology. It's a proven technology. And the second one is CSIR-Central's membrane-based technology. It is also a proven technology. But it is not for the centralized desalination. It is a decentralized desalination, and also decentralized mobile desalination is also possible with CSIR. But with your membrane, how best you can popularize the technology, please look into those aspects. This membrane technology will definitely give you a greater height. And I fully endorse the views of Meiti ji. He said during his period, he talked about electroceramics. And Manaji and Ganguly ji talked about bioceramics. I think thanks to all the visionary leaders, just because of your visionary ideas of bioceramics and electroceramics and energy security related activities, today this lab is finding its relevance as an impeccable, relevant organization. Friends, I will tell you, because during your time, also competition was there. Now the competition is more and more. Competition is so very tough. Every now and then you have to prove that you are alive. You are alive means, how will you prove that you are alive? You are alive by way of proving your relevance with respect to the current scenario. Unless otherwise you prove your relevance at every point of time, slowly we will become a forgotten chapter, and this lab can never go as a forgotten chapter, because all the 5 securities, like the way I said, even for food he was talking about sensors. So sensors which can really sense the CO or nitric oxide or even food wastage, all the sensors they are taking into their hands. And also, I'm so happy that I forgot madam's name. I visited her lab also last time. They have successfully transferred the technology again now. They're coming up with a kind of a bricks which they are getting out of the waste. And thanks to Dr. Vamsi Krishna, throughout my journey from airport to here, 45 minutes, he was all the time chanting the scientific, I would say, romantic words, scientifically romantic words of all the technologies. Thank you so very much. You made me to understand that even from the glass waste, this particular laboratory is coming up with a kind of a special glass wool. They call it as a kind of a glass sponge. So these technologies are totally new. And I'm so happy you are working with very important companies like Saint-Gobain, QME, and also Prism Johnson, all and L&T. You are working with ISRO, Defense, DAE, and also with Ministry of Water, all these important things. Plus, the present director is an expert in medical devices. So all the time he is talking about 2 very important things. One is medical instruments and medical devices, medical assistive devices, and this is where this bioceramics and electroceramics can together play a very important role. And now I'm getting a new confidence that these medical devices through this laboratory will also get its redefinition in the coming times. And all of you from CGCRI should definitely feel very proud, because it is this director, Dr. Bikramajit Basu, he volunteered, he came forward, he met with me and he said, Madam, for my lab, I came up with a kind of a safety protocol. I have designed my safety guideline, a book, a compendium, which will be implemented in CGCRI. I said, why you should get yourself stopped with only CGCRI? Can you just expand it to entire CSIR? Because CSIR is a big bouquet of physical sciences, chemical sciences, biological sciences, mathematical sciences. Because when we talk about safety now, it is not only toxicity related safety, it is not only chemicals related safety, it is not only electricity related security, but also very much related to data security and safety factors and ethics behind that. So when I just asked him, safety and security, can you just combine it and come up with a kind of a total handbook, a kind of a guideline that could be made as a common documentary for CSIR? Big thanks to you, Bikramajit Basu. He immediately said, on the spot, he said, yes, ma'am, I will do. I just made him as a chairman. The moment he was made as a chairman, He just constituted a committee. I only helped him to get a committee constituted. And he periodically arranged for meetings, and they had number of iterations and discussions, and now putting together all the ideas together. Now, whether it is for chemical sciences or engineering sciences or biological sciences, whichever discipline you belong to, you need not worry about it. A kind of a solution, a kind of SOP guidelines are made ready, and CSIR will always remember you, Bikramajit Basu, for this very special contribution. So this is how the leader, now you have a very unique leader who is always volunteering. He is telling town hall meetings every quarter, three town hall meetings he has already finished. Who will have the courage to have town hall meeting? Who will have the courage? The moment I feel that I'm totally transparent, and I'm clear in my focus, and I do what I say, and I have a perfect plan, and I'm ready to face questions, and I have the tolerance to accept any kind of a question, and I have the smartness of taking all the points for their future implementation. If all the points are together, only such a leader can boldly take town hall meeting. He is one such leader. And therefore, we have the right choice of the person at the right point of the time, in the right place, which is CGCRI. Therefore, my confidence is now going up. I'm really looking forward number of success stories in the coming times, because knowledge is there, ecosystem is already there. A great leader who can really guide all the forces in one direction, and the direction in which it is supposed to be directed is also made available now. And therefore, I think by taking the credits from all the previous former directors, all the very big jambawans, the gurus, mentors, those who are really decorating the stage, plus Manaji and Suman Kumari Mishra, now Bikramajit Basu, your power is now enormous, because now you are seeing India and the Indian science and technology landscape by sitting on the shoulders of all these gurus, and therefore you can have maximum coverage. And I look forward, and please take only one point from my end, whichever way the support is required, whichever way you feel like getting some kind of support from CSIR headquarters, we are with you. Because we are on the same page, and therefore, thank you so very much to all the elderly people. Whatever I am talking about CGCR is so good. Please take 90% of the credit in your name, and just leave only 10% to the present community. Only then I can ask them, now you have only 10% in your credit. You have to earn the remaining 90% in your credit, and therefore I can ask them to run extra mile. So my young friends, my CGCRA family, those who are listening to me from different places, virtually, please take this message very strongly in your mind. You have everything in its place, and therefore you have to make use of this opportunity. Friends, this is a great and a golden time during your Platinum Jubilee, that the country is looking for indigenous technology. And therefore, this is the time that you have to put in all your time, all your energy, all your positivity, and all your dedication, and all your passion for science and technology. If at all we put all these together as a bundle and we start working in our laboratories, we will come up with technologies which will be appreciated not only in India, but also in the globe, by means of which this country will remember CSIR. The country will remember CSIR in the name of CGCRA. Therefore, please get ready. We have another 2.5 decades only. India should become a Viksit Bharat 2047. So at that point of time, how many technologies in India could be indigenized by you? Please think about it. I just told only one message to Bikramajit Basu. This is my style. Whenever I am addressing anyone, I will give one homework to that particular laboratory. Today I am just leaving this statement as a homework for you. In this country, wherever we go, we have this OFC cable. So this optical fiber cable, the telecommunication, and I need not say what are the different areas in which this kind of optical fiber cables are finding their importance. It's a huge potential, big market. Market size is big, market value is big, CAGR is good, and for another 2 decades at least, this technology will not be replaced so fast by any other technology. Therefore, can you just give me an assurance? Can you give an assurance to CSIR? Can you give an assurance to this country that this lab will come up with an indigenous optical fiber cable, maybe in another 5 years or 7 years? I'm not talking about the timeline. Please take this particular point as your prioritized area, and this will definitely chant the name of CSIR and CGCRI for so many number of decades, not only in India, but also in other countries. Because even all the underwater cables are also definitely requiring a lot of indigenization, and therefore, please, I told him next to copper wire, I think this optical fiber cable, this is the most sought after, very important technology in which indigenization is required. Therefore, 1 or 2 points I told, all of you sit together and please come up with a kind of very important list in which this country definitely requires indigenization, and make those points as your project taglines. Then you start working. Therefore, periodically, year after year, you can come up with indigenously developed CGCRA-driven technologies. And I'll be always looking forward to celebrate the success of such technologies wherever I am. And thank you so very much for the opportunity. And my sincere apologies, I was supposed to come by tomorrow, but I have many other issues, and therefore I just told him, can you just advance it, prepone it 1 day? Because I'm also a believer, more than New Year Day, New Year Eve is very special. More than Diwali, Diwali Eve is very special. More than Pongal, Pongal Eve is also very special. I am trying to justify. Platinum Jubilee celebration is important. Platinum Jubilee Eve is also equally important. And therefore I thought that when all of you are here, I just wanted to see each and every face, who and all really contributed to this great organization. And I just wanted to get the darshan of each and every one of you and to share some of my thought process. Thank you, Bikramajit Basu. Thank you so very much. Continue to lead this laboratory, and thanks to each and every one of you who are really giving me this kind of a courage and energy. And my young CGCRA family, I have more points to share with you post lunch. Thank you so very much. Namaskar.